The piano for tonight's performance was supplied by A. Hannah and Sons Pianos Limited, Wimbledon. If you would like more information about their services, please see the details on your screen.
Britain's Got Talent is rather like Marmite. You either love it or you hate it. But it actually does show up some great talent and give opportunity for future careers. And we have one of those great talents with us tonight. And so please give a great welcome to Paul Gbegbaje. So was that as good as Ant and Dec?
Yeah.
You're so kind. Paul, I know everybody's glad that you're playing the piano tonight and not me, so that's great. Can I just say to the people at home, there will be an opportunity later on to get some of your information involved, so either email us at live@revelationtv.com or text us at 07781 472847, and later in the show we will take the opportunity to read some of those as well as ask some of the questions that the audience has given. But first, Paul, it's my opportunity, and so from that point of view, let's begin at the beginning. Paul, growing up, you were in a family of preachers.
Yeah.
Did you ever fear that you would just become another preacher's kid?
I just knew that I loved music. My parents have always been in the ministry, and, you know, I've always been involved in the church, whether it was just sitting in the pews or playing the instrument or, you know, helping with the choir. I just had a hand in it somehow.
And so, I mean, at that point, there wasn't a reality of Christ in your life. You were just part of the family, yeah?
Exactly. People assume just because you're a preacher's kid, you know, you're holy, your life's perfect. I actually, personally, I remember I gave my life to Christ when I was 7, but I didn't start my pursuit of God until I was 13. That's when I decided, you know, this is what I want to do. I want to serve God. I want to live for Him. And I remember, you know, praying by myself, asking God into my life. So it was a personal decision.
And what did were your family obviously very pleased at that point? Were they looking for you to take on and follow in their footsteps?
Of what, becoming a preacher?
Yeah.
I guess people just assume, you know, you're a preacher's kid, you know, your life is good. And, you know, I guess it was a conscious decision to do that. And, you know, I'm happy that I did. It was the right choice, the right decision.
Right. And after you did that, I mean, at school, I know it was reported in the paper that you got bullied. That's not quite true. But you certainly got ribbed for your faith, didn't you? What did that do to you? Did it make you feel, I don't want to be this? Or did it actually strengthen you in your belief?
It strengthened me because it showed me that I was doing something right. You know, if I was living the way everyone else was living, then they wouldn't really say anything. But the fact I lived right and they saw it and I stood for what I believed in, that's why they were able to say what I was saying. So them saying what they said gave me a validation and a confirmation that, yeah, I'm standing the way I'm meant to be.
And have any of those contacted you since your performance?
Yeah. Like emails, like, sorry for any remark I made about, you know, so they have apologised.
That's great. It shows you what a little bit of fame does, doesn't it?
Exactly.
They want to be on the right side of you now. Obviously, the piano is what you have become known for. But you haven't been playing that long. 5 years, is it?
Yeah.
Boy, I mean, they've got a treat. They haven't heard you before. I mean, we've been listening to you just practice, and that's been great. But how did you begin? I mean, what happened that you started playing when you were 14 and you hadn't the rest of your life?
I learned. This sounds quite silly, but I learnt by mistake. We had a keyboard at home, and there was someone who played for our church, and I don't know what reason why he stopped coming, but he just wasn't coming. And I remember I could play like one nursery rhyme really bad on piano, and I just always used to play it around the house. And my dad was walking through the living room, and he said, "Oh, that sounds really good, do it again." So I did it again, badly, and 2 weeks after that, he got a teacher to come in and teach me. So I was thinking, he's serious about me learning. And my teacher always used to say that 90% is what I'm going to do, that he's going to do 10% of the work. And about 2 weeks after that, he wasn't able to fully commit to teaching me because of work commitments and job commitments. So I took it upon myself to gave the basics. He got me like chords, hymns, gospel songs. And I took all of that and would go to the church and for like 10 hours back to back be practicing. I gave all my summer holiday to it, every spare time that I had when I could have been out playing. When I was at school at lunchtime, I was in the music room, so I devoted my life to it.
But it must have been something you enjoyed, because you wouldn't have given that much time. And we saw you today when you came in here. I mean, your eyes lit up when you saw this piano, and you couldn't wait to get on. You're just like a kid in a toy shop at Christmas. It was brilliant. But do you consider, though, that although obviously you've practiced hard, that this is something of a gift that God has given you?
Definitely. Because I've met on many occasions people who've been playing for 15, 20 years, and they're like, I've been playing for that long, but I can't do what you do. What's your secret? And it's like, I have no secret. It's God who gave me the gift, and, every day, every chance I get, I credit him for it, because I'll be a thief and a liar to say that it was me who did it. People can put the right practice or learn this certain chord, but ultimately it comes from him, and so I credit him for it.
Great. Did you have any sort of career before Britain's Got Talent, or was it just playing in churches or around? Churches
and schools. Right. That was the only performing I did. So from going to churches to school to TV was just like a giant leap.
Yeah, you were saying that auditorium where you had your first audition.
Exactly.
What, 3,000 people?
3,000.
Boy, you were nervous.
Very nervous. Yeah. To the point when I was about to go on and they were miking me up, I actually located where the exit door was, and I actually began to walk towards it, and somebody came in front of me where are you going? And I just made up an excuse, and then I just prayed, went on stage, and
Right. But and you were saying that Ant and Dec were genuinely encouraging of you.
Definitely.
Yeah. Why did you go in for it?
For Britain's Got Talent?
Yeah.
Believe it or not, I didn't just one day...
Don't tell me that's another accident.
It was an accident. I'm telling you the truth. Because number one, I didn't think I was good enough to make it even on TV, let alone get to the finals.
Yeah.
And I believe God spoke through people. Because many times people are like, go on Britain's Got Talent, you should do it. And I was like, yeah, so I can get booed off stage and buzzed. Because that's what I genuinely believed. And it was till an elderly lady, she walked up to me. This was in about last year, 2010. And she said, the next time I'm going to see you is on a television screen. And I said, what on earth is she talking about? And about a month after that, I filled out an online application form. And I remember having a 1p coin, and I said, God, if it lands on heads, I'm going to do it. If it's tails, no, I'm not. And the coin, because I was like, God, give me a sign. Should I do this? Should I not? Because I'm not going to embarrass myself and have everyone laugh. And so it landed on heads. And I was like, OK, it's a sign. I did it 5 times, and it was still heads. And so I filled it out. I pressed send. And then a week after that, I think a week, they said, we want you to come on TV and audition.
Right. And, I mean, obviously you said, when you got there and lining up with all those other thousands, what did you think? I still don't stand a chance?
Because there's so many different acts, some you'll see a singing dog or, just something outrageous. You think, OK, maybe I am in for a chance. So your confidence rises when you see, when you see different...
We must get them on next time.
Exactly. And so that kind of boosted my confidence. Not in a cocky way of saying, like, they're rubbish, but, you know, it helped me.
You thought you could beat the singing dog, anyway.
But, like, in for a bit of a chance.
Yeah. Now, you got through to the final. I mean, heat, semi-final. I mean, the judges made some very, very encouraging remarks, I think.
Definitely.
I mean, what did you think about that? Does that begin to encourage you more, or do you think, oh, they're just being nice? I mean, how did you look at that?
Those judges are honest, and they will tell you... You know, I was there when people didn't get too good feedback. Right. They will tell you exactly what they're feeling. There's no need for them to lie or pretend. And I guess the most nerve-wracking part was afterwards, after performing, because, you know, Simon could have said, that was awful, you know, it was tuneless, but he didn't. And when I first auditioned on TV, I honestly, honest to God, thought I'd be buzzed. So when I looked, I was like, there's no red X over my head. It's like, I got to play the whole song through. And, you know, that kind of showed, OK, maybe I have got something here, and I just worked on that.
Great. And you got through to the final. Were you disappointed when you lost, or did you feel I've gone as far as I can go? How did you feel on that?
At first, I was disappointed. I mean, anyone would. I'm not going to lie and say, oh, yeah, I came this far. You know, part of you wants to win, you know. But there was a success in a sense that 100,000 people applied, and I made, like, literally the last 10 and came 6 out of that 10. So on that basis, you know, I was happy, I was fulfilled in that. And, you know, it taught me that, in a way, it's good that I didn't win, because everything is like cash prize, yeah, you're going to perform. But now it gives me that chance to work hard and, you know, really show and be passionate and pursue what I want to do, rather than just lay back and everything's done for me. Now I can really work at it and get to where I want to be as a musician.
Do you have any fear? I mean, because you've obviously become famous, and lots of people know your name, and certainly they know, oh, that's the bloke that played the piano in Britain's Got Talent. Do you fear that there may be a struggle with your Christian faith at all, or do you feel confident in God that you can get whatever lies before you, you can do it and still stay true to the Lord?
Of course. You know, even after the semi-finals, after going on tour, you know, I'd meet fans and they'll be like, oh, so do you still go to church? And I'm like, of course I go to church. I still play on the Sundays. And I've realised that, you know, what you have with God, you have to secure that. It's like a relationship. And, you know, whether I'm doing something in the gospel or the secular industry, I'm a light. And if I'm going to a dark place, it's to shine in that area. I can be there and not do what I do and make an impact on them. And look, and they'll say, you know, OK, he doesn't do what we do. What's different about him? And in that sense, I want to be an example rather than compromise or, you know.
Did you have opportunity to share your faith at all with?
Of course,
in
everybody knew I was a Christian. You know, the sound people, the people who did the curtains on tour. You know, it's just, I guess when something's a part of you, you don't plan to say, oh, I'm going to put Jesus in this sentence. It just comes out.
Yeah.
You know, when some contestants had trouble, they'll come to me for prayer.
Really?
You know, and it's not like I said, OK, I'm here, guys, if you want to pray. They saw that that's who I was. And I just guess that's how it just went from there.
And, I mean, was there a great sort of camaraderie between you as well? I mean, have you kept in touch with any of the people that you met there?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. What happens now? Do you think there is a real future for you in show business? Are you looking forward to those areas? Are you still going to play in churches? I mean, what do you think's going to happen to you now? Any ideas?
Well, I know definitely God didn't give me this gift for no reason, you know, to sit out and do a 9 to 5. You know, this is my 9 to 5, playing. I always tell myself that. And, you know, when God gives you a gift, a talent, you know, in the Bible it says your gift is what will make room for you. And I believe that, you know, that's for him to worry about. I'm just going to work on my craft and be as good as I can. And he's the one who will open the doors. And he has been and will continue to be, so I'm relaxed at that.
That's a great attitude to have, because you don't have to struggle and strive.
Exactly.
You can leave it in his hands.
Exactly, and it all falls into place. As long as you do your part, he does his. And I'm not going to try and do his part. That's why he's good, you know. He does it better than I'll ever be able to do it.
Yeah, I tell you, I wish many other of us could learn that lesson as well, and just to allow him to do what he was. But will there be an album eventually?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
of
yes.
course.
Are you working on that yet, or is that some way down the line?
Still in talks.
Still in talks.
Yeah.
But it's going to happen.
Of course.
And you're getting invited, I think, to be involved in other people's records and things at the moment as well. Yeah. Well, look, you're a great guy, and it's great talking to you.
Thank you.
We don't just want to talk to you. We obviously want you to play as well. So we're going to get you to play in just a minute. We're going to take a short break so we can change around. So just stay there for a minute. And then later on, I'm going to let the audience loose on you. And any of our questions that our viewers or comments, we're going to have those as well. So, But we'll let you play a bit first, and then we'll bring in some of those as well. Also, we must talk about this piano, and we've got Mr. Fadi Hanna of A. Hanna and Sons in the audience, who has kindly donated this piano for tonight. 100 years old. I hope I look as good as this when it's 100 years. When I'm 100 years old. Sounds brilliant. Thank you so much for doing that for us. Really appreciate it. And so just before we hear Paul playing for us, we've put together a short clip of what it's like to prepare and to get ready. And so some of the things of rehearsal. Let's just take a look at this, and we'll be back in just a few minutes to hear Paul play.
Hi, welcome to Behind the Scenes. Just for these doors, we've got Paul Gbegbaje rehearsing for tonight's performance. Let's go and see how he's getting along. Hey, sorry, Paul. Do you mind if I grab a couple of seconds of you?
Of course you can.
So, excited about today's performance?
Very excited. This is my first TV debut where it's solely on me, so I can't wait to go out there.
Tension's on you, really.
Exactly.
Big Paul Gbegbaje's time. Do you still get as nervous as the first performance as you do now?
It's kind of died down, maybe because of what I did on Britain's Got Talent. So in terms of pressure and crowds, I can handle it now. I know what to do to get myself in performance mode and how to relax.
Yeah, well, once you've done that, you pretty much can do anything.
Exactly.
So what have you got planned for us this evening?
So today I'm going to mix it up, throw in some old stuff that you recognise, some gospel stuff, back to my roots, pop songs that you all know, some of my own compositions. So I'll just keep you listening out.
Keep everyone on their toes.
Exactly.
Sounds exciting. So what do you think of the piano?
Amazing.
Important especially for you?
What's there not to love? Big, the size, everything.
It is pretty impressive. Wish I could play it. Shame I've got little hands. I don't have, as they say, piano hands.
I can teach you something.
Hey, maybe try a little something.
Okay, yeah. Jam session. Okay, I'll show you something.
Okay, what, just them 3 keys there, yeah?
Yeah.
Alright then. Like that?
Yeah, keep that going. Keep it going, same speed. And then stop. There you go.
Right about now, my mum would be so proud. I'm going to class myself as a musician.
Exactly.
So, as to regards to performances, have you been busy recently, or is there anything else we should be looking out for?
A lot of stuff to look out for.
Exciting times.
Exactly, websites. I've got a studio session tomorrow, which you'll know about soon. It's still in talks.
Hush, hush, mum's the word.
Exactly. But you'll find out soon.
With everything be going around the studio today, I imagine it'd be quite hard focusing on your rehearsals.
Exactly. But I'm used to it, especially when I did Britain's Got Talent. You know, someone could be wiping the piano while I'm being mic'd up, when someone else is approving my outfit, making sure it's right, while someone else is making sure I've eaten. So all those things going up, you have to learn how to balance everything, but at the same time focus on what you're meant to focus on.
Well, it looks pretty amazing. Watching you rehearse earlier on, you know, your fingers are moving so fast, your eyes are all over the piano. And it's just hard watching you, let alone playing it.
With practice, it's easy. You just come second nature. Like, I don't think I'm going to press that next, just happens.
Yeah, it's like your brain was like 15 moves ahead.
Exactly.
You've been on a show that's broadcasted to over millions and millions of people. and now tonight here on Revelation TV, I can imagine this would be the highlight of your life.
Exactly, exactly.
All right, thanks for giving us a couple of seconds of your time. Can't wait for your performance. I'm pretty excited.
Thanks for that.
Good luck, thanks.
You think you could teach me to play? No, you couldn't. They know how bad I am at music, so I wouldn't even try. Do you ever get cramp in your hands?
Yeah, very crampy. Like, even today, my bones are really stiff.
Right. So do you have to do special exercises to
I just
do that?
You know, wind it or just play around with them. Sometimes it works, other times they can be stiff for quite a while.
Yeah.
It depends how they decide to warm up, if they decide to.
I just don't know how anybody's hands can move that quick, I have to say. Look at it, it's amazing, absolutely amazing. There is still opportunity for you to text in or email in if you're watching. Please do send in your comments, send in your questions. We want you to take part in tonight's show as well. Normal numbers live at revelationtv.com for emails, 07781 472847 for text, and we're ready and waiting to bring in any comments you might have. But first of all, I think we're going to go to the audience, and if we've got a microphone, I think, yep, we've got a microphone, and we've got a young lady who is going to bring the microphone around. That's our Rochelle. Big hand for Rochelle. She won't like me in the office tomorrow, I tell you. Let's go. Gabriella. Where's Gabriella? Up the back there. What's your question, Gabriella?
Who are your main musical influences?
Beethoven, Chopin, Oscar Peterson, Keith Jarrett. I have so many, but I'll say the main is Beethoven.
Why Beethoven? What's so special?
If you look at his mind and the way he just thought of the notes, if you look at how he played, he's made some of the greatest pieces that will live even when we go, just for ages. He made music like centuries before we even existed, but his music's still being played today.
Can you play a little bit?
Just the beginning.
Go on, just
but
play a little.
It's really like the...
Oh, go on.
It's really long.
Yeah, but play a little bit more. Go on. Great. Lynette's got a question here. Down one, that's it, there we are.
What opportunities have you had to influence young people, both with your music and with your faith?
I guess being young myself, people come to me and say that, you know, in schools, you know, they're Christians, but they don't have the confidence or boldness to step out and admit it. And many times they've come to thank me for being an encouragement and showing them that, you know, you can do it and still, you know, be who you are rather than hiding it away. But I've encouraged them to come out with them faith.
When you go into schools today, do they treat you differently than they treated you before you were on Britain's Got Talent?
Even when I went to my old school, there was like 100 kids lined up waiting for autograph. So yeah, it's changed.
And they all suddenly want to play the piano. I mean,
Exactly.
does it do that for them? I mean, even if they're no good, they want to play the piano.
So many people started taking lessons because of what they saw on Britain's Got Talent.
Right.
So many people.
And are you able, I mean, when you're in schools, especially developing that question, are you able to share your faith along with your music? Can that happen?
Definitely. When people ask me, how did you learn or where did you get your talent, I'd say it's from God, because it is. And, you know, that's how I do it. If somebody asks me, I tell them the reason. And, yeah.
Great. Del's got a question.
What training have you had, Paul? Have you had any formal lessons, as it were?
I had a teacher who taught me like scales, and he basically taught me how to play by ear mainly. But as far as theory and formal training, no.
Katrina, I don't think it's our Katrina. Is there a Katrina in the audience? Or was it our Katrina? Oh, it was. Okay, can we get a mic onto Katrina here?
what's your ambitions with your music and where you want to take it to next?
I want to perform with orchestras, write soundtracks for movies, compose more, get into songwriting, write musical, play on albums, make musical albums. I've got so much I want to do with it.
I think we've got some emails and texts, so if we could come across... sorry, Rochelle, we're keeping you busy here today.
Folks are enjoying the show. It's quite interesting where people are writing from. Bev writes and says, what a great witness Paul is for the Lord. I loved watching him on Britain's Got Talent and wanted him to win. Keep up the good work, Paul. Your playing is fantastic.
Thank you.
And then you're being watched tonight in the Outer Hebrides. And Brian and Lynn say, wonderful show. Thank you. God bless. And this is one from Aberdeen, and it says, I'm Chioma. I hope that's how you pronounce it. My question is this. Do you ever feel pressure from the world to compromise? If so, how do you deal with it?
My faith is, like I say, the forefront of my life, and the main thing, everything around that has to accommodate it. You know, I'm very confident in what I believe, and I'll never have to hide it or do something I don't agree with. And if there's not a balance where I can say, I want to do this and allow my faith to shine through it, then I won't do it. If it's something derogatory or something I'm against, I won't have a part in it. It has to be something that's acceptable to God.
I mean that's a great attitude to have, and I guess you have to be determined with that right from the word go. Otherwise, you can easily get drawn into things, can't you? So you've made that stand. Your management know that, and that's the stand you've taken.
Exactly.
Well, I've got a couple of emails which are asking whether Paul could play this one from Jimmy. He says, is there a hymn or gospel song that you just love to play? And this one says, great show. Could Paul play a couple of worship songs for us that we at home could join in?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
In just a moment when we get you to play that again, so maybe a hymn or a couple of worship songs, and you can hear everybody all over the British Isles singing along to you. Yeah. We're trying to create a record tonight for the biggest choir that there's ever been right across Britain. Okay. Joseph, the mic's coming to you.
What do you think should mark out a Christian in their life, work and ministry, as a citizen of heaven, according to what Paul writes in Philippians 3, verse 20?
Again, like I said, being a light. You know, if I'm in a dark place, let my light shine, let my actions shine. Let me minister with what I do, with what I stand for. Let people see that if somebody's upset, you know, I can drop in, you know, God loves you, or there's hope, you know. The situation you're in won't always be like that. Be effective where I need to be effective, you know, and...
Your smile does that, I tell you. Your brings light. Oh. Your smile is brilliant.
Thank you.
So never lose that.
Thank you.
Really, really do that. I tell you what, I think let's let you play a little bit more, and we'll come back and chat later. Maybe if you could play the hymn and a couple of worship songs, and then go on to some of the other songs you were going to play, and I'll come up in a little bit longer and a little bit later and talk some more. But you play and let us sing along and share it with you together.
Paul, you talked of Beethoven and some of these others. Would you like one day to really be a concert pianist? Is that something you'd love to do or not?
One of the things, yeah, I have many different ambitions, but definitely involving piano.
Yeah. What ambitions do you have? You got any dreams, any longings that you want to fulfil? Because you see, we can follow your career and find out if you fulfil them. You see?
Yeah. Tour, have my own tour. Play at. One thing that I do is I set goals that I want to do, and when I do them, I tick them off. And one thing I said I want to do is play at the O2 Arena. And before I did it, about 3-4 years before, I always used to tell people, I'm going to perform there one day. And they're like, how are you going to do that? Or they'll just say, yeah, that's nice, and kind of play it down. And I looked, when I went on tour, it was one of the venues. So standing there and actually seeing...
the Britain's Got Talent tour.
Yeah. And actually seeing what I imagined in my head come to life was, out of this world.
Brilliant.
So, yeah.
And how did they receive you on the tour? I mean, were they as thrilled with you as the...
Even more, because you get to see the people that really appreciate what you do.
Yeah.
Like, we had a show in Bournemouth, and there was one girl, our show started at 7:30 p.m. She'd queued outside to meet me at 8 a.m. in the morning. And so you have people that are really loyal and really support what you do.
Great.
So, yeah.
Great. Gordon, I think we've got some more interesting emails and texts coming in, so
yes,
take a few.
We've got lots of emails and texts that are coming through now, Paul. This is one which is contrasting. Last special we did was talking about the riots that took place in London and elsewhere. And it says, such an inspiration to see young talent and love of God. It really is refreshing and such stark contrast to your last Revelation TV special, where you were discussing the young people rioting and having no vision or purpose in life. A truly enjoyable evening. And then you've obviously got some family watching tonight, Paul, because this one says, hi, Paul, it's your cousin Aaron. Is that how you pronounce his name? E-R-U-N?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're working it out. Yeah. How does it feel, he says, to have so many people watching you?
Scary.
Well, let me keep going. From Joy, she says, it's truly amazing to see a young black man inspiring others. God bless him. Love, Joy. And from Carol, it says, Paul, I'm touched not just by your wonderful talent, but by your beautiful, humble spirit. May God richly bless you, Paul. That's from Carol. Here's somebody who's asking, Isabel, who's asking, do you want to be a famous composer one day?
Definitely.
You would, okay.
Can I just ask, as a secondary, I mean, some of the music you played on Britain's Got Talent, you composed yourself, didn't you?
The one I played for the final.
Yes. Because they said it was a risk, but they actually felt it was very good. Yeah. So that's something you're going to develop.
Definitely, yeah.
Right. Yeah.
All right. I think maybe you touched on it before, but Ado says, how much formal training have you had? When did you start playing the piano? Can you play Waltz in C minor by Chopin? There you are. That's a challenge.
I started when I was 14. I had a teacher. I wasn't put through grades, so in terms of the formal side, I lack that bit, but I want to get into that. And no, I can't play Waltz.
Okay, will you come back in a year's time and play Waltz in C minor by Chopin?
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure what he means, whether he's talking about motorbikes or what, but he does say as a PS, did you learn through the Suzuki Method? Do you know what that is?
No.
I've no idea either. Okay.
That means quickly, I think.
Okay. Here's another one which says from Michael, hi Doug, your talented young guest plays very well indeed. His Midnight Sonata was excellent. Does he play Chopin? It's a favourite of mine.
Do you know any Chopin?
No, I used to, but I forgot.
You
I learned like one line.
Go on, play the one line.
I can't even remember it. That's really bad.
Yeah. I'm sure Chopin would started like that as well.
Elaine wants to know what band or artist would you like to duet with if you could in the future?
Oh, so many. I'd love to work with Beyonce. I think she's a phenomenal talent.
Mm-hmm.
The Roots. Gospel-wise, I look up to people like Don Moen, Kirk Franklin, Kim Burrell, Donnie McClurkin. Just everyone. I would have loved to work with Michael Jackson, but he's dead now.
Yeah.
But he was someone who was amazing as well. But I listen to a lot of underground people as well as people that are mainstream.
Okay, you've obviously got more of the family watching you tonight. Here's another. Osayandi.
Yeah.
Does that sound right?
Yeah.
He just says, "Hi, Osayandi here. You inspire me to play music. Thanks, my cousin." There was one I noticed from Isabel where she says she's just beginning piano lessons and she wonders if you've got any advice for her.
Don't be restricted in terms of, don't let them tell you, okay, you have to start by learning a skill. Try and build up your ears. Try and copy what you hear. Try and play what you hear on the radio. Try and, just create and mess about. That's the best way to learn. Just get the basics and build up from that. Try and start small, then add. Because I think music's a personal thing, and it's about adding your personality into the music and doing it in a way that's comfortable to you, rather than, reading from a book is good, but it tells you what to play. Try and add your own stuff that's maybe not in the book, and just really exercise your creativity.
I mean, you sound to me like you sit down at the piano and do that sometimes. I mean, when you just do that right now. Randomly. Come on.
Okay. Pressure.
No pressure. Just be
Okay.
random.
I don't know what I'm going to play.
I can certainly keep going here with the emails and texts that are coming in. It's marvellous when you have an audience at home, because we just said, what did you use the Suzuki Method? And I thought it might have been a motorbike. Well, already I'm being told the Suzuki Method is a way of teaching that was developed by Shinichi Suzuki, a Japanese violinist and teacher. He believes every child could achieve a high level of musicality if taught correctly. His end goal, however, was not brilliant prodigies, but good people. In every picture, you see Dr. Suzuki smiling. There you are. You obviously didn't use that method, but never mind. We found out about it. Gabby just says you've got awesome fingers. You should be so proud. And James says, do you keep in touch with any of the artists from Britain's Got Talent?
Yeah, I spoke to Michael Collins, I think, 4 weeks ago on the phone. I email Razzie, I talk to Gene Martin sometimes through internet, because they're busy. I don't have all their numbers, so I do it through Facebook or Twitter.
Great.
But now and then I see how they're doing, and vice versa.
I think we're going to have to leave it there, Gordon. We're running out of time. Thank you for all the emails. Sorry if we haven't read yours out, but I know many of them will have been saying how much they appreciate you. We've got a few minutes left, and it would be great, Paul, if you could just play us out. Really appreciate you coming, sharing your heart, sharing your music with us tonight. We've really, really enjoyed it. So I think we just want to say thank you again. We've got a couple of minutes of the programme left. Please just play us out. Until we tell you to stop, you keep going.
Okay.
The piano for tonight's performance was supplied by A. Hannah and Sons Pianos Limited, Wimbledon. If you would like more information about their services, please see the details on your screen.